Hey everyone, my name's Drew and we're here. This is going to be week 7 of our PGL matches and we are back from PAX. Still recovering. I'm still not 100% there, but we did have to get this match scheduled and time zones made it difficult. He is in the UK. You can see this is going to be a pretty difficult matchup for us here, but at the same time, I do really like our team. We do have the Mega Alakazam, the Scarfed Primarina, the Scarfed Emboar as well, a pretty standard Zygarde, a fully physically defensive Delmise, and a pretty darn defensive Hawlucha. We didn't invest at all in speed because we're banking on the Unburden going off with the Citrus Berry. And if that happens, double speed should go on to outspeed his team outside of Sand Rush Excadrill. But being able to take those physical hits is going to be kind of important in this matchup. This is just going to be a pretty tough match overall. It's kind of a long match over a lot of switches. So I'm just going to get into it here. I don't exactly remember a whole bunch of it. I'm going to be watching along and there's going to be a whole lot of double switching. Hopefully I remember my reasoning behind those. Either way, I believe I just end up leading with Mega Alakazam. Yeah, there it is. Just trying to deal damage to his team. It doesn't have like a really set role in this match, so I just want to deal damage. That's my only, objective here. And here, I just Mega Evolve, and he just goes for the Fake Out. He's Life Orb Fake Out Raichu. Gonna see it in just a second. And I do trace the Lightning Rod. I was pretty excited about that because it prevented any Volt switching, but he knew that. So, it's fine. He just wants to see if I'm going to switch out and try to get some residual damage. It's fine. Or chip damage, I should say. But he ends up hard withdrawing. He can't Volt switch anymore after the Lightning Rod. And he goes into his Sylveon. Now, I go for a Psychic, and I know how strong I am. I do the damage counts, and this is 100% just max HP, max special defense. It can't be anything else, and it has leftovers. It just does so little damage, so I switch out because I don't want to be like caught in this darn game and let it just get leftovers for free. I go into Emboar trying to scare it out as he goes for the Wish. I believe I might double here because the Salamence switch is pretty obvious. I have to imagine that's what I do, but in all honesty, I don't remember even a little bit. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I do double switch. This might actually reveal Scarf. I believe, actually no, Sylveon's also a base 60. I believe we're both base 60, so maybe I just have like 4 speed EVs, I don't know. That's what I think that he might be thinking. And I go into my Mega Alakazam again, because this Mega Alakazam is packing HP Ice, and I did expect the Salamence switch in, which ends up not happening. I guess he expected me to Flare Blitz here. But I'm fine in here, taking a little bit of damage on this thing by just going for the Energy Ball. I know it's not going to KO by any means. I know it's in sand. I know, whatever. But he ends up revenging me with Throat Chomp. It's totally fine. Like I said, I'm kind of still feeling out his team right at this point. And we did get the information that this is also max HP, max special defense. So he's definitely worried about my special threats. And I bring in this thing. I'm kind of expecting it just to go for to just try to hit me for damage with Rock Slide or something like that, Stone Edge maybe. And that would let me Sword Stance and get the Citrus Berry Unburden, but that ends up not happening. He goes into his Salamence here, which honestly just kind of sucks. And here he makes a pretty smart play. He goes for the Fly, I believe, on this turn. So I assume this means that he's Z-Fly, but spoiler alert, we don't actually get to ever see Z-Fly. But what it does is it lets him get a turn to sand, it lets him scout out, and see what I'm going to do. I just end up going into this thing because it's my most defensive mon without the Umbreon in this match. It's one of my only times bringing Umbreon, not bringing Umbreon. This is kind of wild as well, but we take that pretty well. And here I do have a free Dragon Dance available to me if I so choose to take it, but I believe I just double maybe? Do I? No. What do I do? Okay, so yeah, no, this switch in was pretty obvious. I knew that this was going to happen. Now, I did calc it afterwards, and an Adamant max attack, 1,000 arrows would have done 50%, so to the Sylveon either way, so it probably would have been a 2 KO, so I'm super just kicking myself over not taking that opportunity to just get the damage off right there with a 1,000 arrows. That would have been huge. Even just a Dragon Dance. I guess the Dragon Dance wouldn't have been that great of an option in that situation, but it doesn't matter. I just go into my Primarina because my thinking is that Primarina... I had to scout out for a dragon move from the Salamence on the Zygarde, but we're already a few turns ahead. My Primarina is Scarfed, and I guess he just wanted to scout out damage because he doesn't know whether or not my Primarina is Specs yet. So if I was Specs, it would have threatened the Sylveon, but now he knows 100% that this Sylveon is going to be a wall for my Primarina. And also, that Scarf did catch his Raichu off guard. It did let me 2 KO the Raichu on that switch in, so that's a pretty big deal down off the bat, but it wasn't too valuable to him either way. I end up switching out to my Dhelmise to not take damage on my Primarina, which that damage will come in huge later, but I think I knew that the Salamence was going to come in, so I end up going back into Primarina. Again, I am Scarfed, so I am able to outspeed this Salamence naturally and just Moonblast it, possibly Oko it, probably Oko it. But I knew the Sylveon was going to switch in. At this point, I'm just in here for damage. I do get a lucky special attack drop, but at this point, my game plan is that if I can just keep pumping Moonblast into this thing, even though I know it can Wish, I know it can do all this other like nonsense, I just wanted to keep pumping Moonblast into this thing to get it low enough where Hawlucha could come in, because even at neutral, Hawlucha Poison Jab does over 50%. So that was honestly my thinking here. And then hopefully I can get an opportunity to Swords Dance up on Burden later on. But I think he expects me to double because there have been so many doubles in this match, like throughout this match so far, that he goes out into Gigalith, and I'm just pumping Moonblast in. I end up pumping some Moonblast into this max HP, max special defense Gigalith, and I do get a crit, brings it down super low. He takes that opportunity for rocks. That crit doesn't end up mattering, I don't think, at least. No, it definitely doesn't end up mattering. But it was just kind of like an unfortunate moment. Either way, he finally just switches out. He doesn't want to give up his Gigalith just yet. I think he just wants an opportunity to get Sand Up later in the match at this point. So he goes in here again, and we're pretty much back to square one, where now I can keep just pumping Moonblast into this Sylveon and trying to do work against it. I do get another special attack drop, which is kind of cute, but it doesn't end up mattering even a little bit. So Sand's going to go off before his leftovers, and it's going to counteract him, which is going to be pretty important, as I do get another Moonblast here, and it crits. It crits, which lets me take it out to Sand as he goes for a Wish. So now I know a Wish is up in the air. It's going to kind of suck because it's going to nullify next turn's damage, but it does let me take out this Sylveon for pretty much free at this point, and I feel kind of bad about it, but and given the way the rest of this match went, I do feel pretty confident that I would have found a moment where where I would have been able to counteract the Sylveon at some point. Either way, I go into Dhelmise on this thing, which was kind of a dumb play because I should have known that the Poison Jab was coming, and I don't take Poison Jab as well as I thought I would. It is Life Orbed, which does kind of stink, and do get poisoned, which also super stinks, but you know what? We deal with it. I thought I was going to be able to take a hit from Excadrill better, but it doesn't wall it as well if it does carry the Poison Jab, and of course it would carry the Poison Jab, even if just for the Primarina. So I would say that's fair to say that that's just a misplay on my part. I gave up my Dhelmise for really no reason. I never get a chance to Synthesis up with my Dhelmise, but just the way it goes, I guess. I really thought Dhelmise could, you know, put in a little bit of work. Just being a wall in this match, it doesn't get that opportunity, but I finally get this opportunity where I get the Hawlucha in for free against the Excadrill. This is exactly the matchup that I wanted because he can bring me down to my Citrus range, but he pulls a switch into Lopunny, and I think he knew that I did have the Citrus range by the way that I was playing. I think he knew that if he just like faked out, I would have triggered Citrus and I would have gotten double speed anyway, so he just goes for the return, just pressing his luck, I guess. And I just take it super well. I'm really defensive. I do have to run some calcs because maybe it wasn't max speed, I don't know, or max happiness, I'm not too sure, but as soon as he popped my Citrus and I had the Swords Dance up, that's everything that I needed. I took that so well. I did invest a whole lot into its defenses. I believe it's 176 HP, EVs and something like 84 defense EVs. I'd have to check on that, but I'm a very, very defensive Hawlucha. I needed to be able to take hits. I needed to be able to take like rock slides and whatnot, as well as turns of sand damage in order to trigger the Citrus Berry. That was my entire plan. If I could just get that Citrus Berry triggered by having a lot of defense and being able to take hits, then I Sword Stance up and Hawlucha puts in a whole bunch of work. And I'm just able to here just sweep the rest of his team. And it doesn't actually, I guess the Sylveon crit did end up mattering in terms of him having a switch into it, but as soon as I got my Hawlucha for free up against his Excadrill, nothing mattered after that, because Sylveon, as soon as I got that Sword Dance up, Sylveon would have gone down to a Poison Jab at +2 no matter what. Unless it was Kevi Berry, I guess. I don't know. But also just having the Sylveon around just kind of allowed him to keep the Excadrill in the back, so that was definitely necessary to kind of draw out the Excadrill and allow my Hawlucha to just do the amount of work that it did. The Raichu would have stopped any Hawlucha sweep, because until I got the Unburden off, he would have been able to outspeed me and OHKO me with Thunderbolt. I would have had to been with Conberry, which would have been a whole different thing. So the Raichu definitely had to be on to make any of that possible. But either way, that was a lot of fun. We did start out the season at 0-4, and now we are crawling our way back to 3-4. I don't know if that means anything for playoffs, but either way, it's just been a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will be back with UBL matches really, really soon, as well as more weeks of PGL. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching again, and I will be once again out.